Welcome to Twinkle Talk Bedtime Story.
YNC K-pop Demon Hunter Bedtime Story. Long after the city lights dim and the last yawn is tucked in, the greatest adventure begins. In a world woven from starlight and sleepy sighs, lived the 4 Dreamsync Hunters. Their mission was simple: to keep the dreamscape safe from the worry whispers, little gray clouds of what-ifs, and two-laters that tried to steal the peaceful ZZZs. Tonight, the whispers were thickest around a little girl's dream. The Dreamsync team gathered in their floating studio, ready to launch their performance pod. "Sync check, dreamers," called Sora as she strapped into the pilot seat. Their power wasn't armor or laser swords. It was harmony, rhythm, and a perfectly choreographed beat. They flew the rhythm rider deep into the swirling colors of the little girl's sleep, the worry whispers circling like tiny, annoying moths. "Whispers are at full strength," whispered Jisoo. "Ready the light show, Yun. We're going in for the full performance." The ramp lowered. The hunters stepped out onto the fluffy lavender cloud. The worry whispers hissed, trying to creep closer, but stopped when the first notes played. Sora began to sing, her voice a soothing wave that washed over the dreamscape. The whispers slowed, confused by the sound of pure, confident peace. Mina and Yoon began their incredible dance routine. Their movements were sharp, clean, and perfectly synchronized, each step creating a ripple of shimmering, golden energy. Jisoo's part was the quiet anchor, a deep, steady rap that explained away the fear. "That test is just a silly game. Tomorrow is a new day anyway." As the final, powerful harmony hit, the worry whispers couldn't hold their shape. They popped. One by one, they turned into sparkling dust, floating away on a happy, imaginary breeze. The Dreamsync Hunters bowed low. The girl's dream was calm, bright, and deeply restful. Their mission complete, they flew home.
Welcome to Twinkle Talk Bedtime Story.
The little old lady who wasn't afraid of hats. Aveline lived in a cozy cottage with a garden full of flowers. But at the very back, behind a tangle of vines, there was a dusty old greenhouse she never went into. "It's time," she said with a determined nod. "That old greenhouse needs some love." She put on her gardening gloves and walked with purpose towards the forgotten glass house. She pushed open the creaky door. Creak, creak, creak. A dusty top hat tumbled from a shelf and landed with a thump on the floor. The hat rolled closer. Roll, roll, roll. Aveline simply smiled. "Well, hello there, little hat," she said, kneeling to get a better look. Just then, a long, striped scarf slithered down from a hook, swish, swish, and wrapped itself around the hat. The hat wobbled and tipped. The hat and scarf wiggled together. Aveline chuckled. "You two seem to like each other," she said. "But what are you doing all the way out here?" From the shadows, a wide-brimmed sun hat and a fluffy pink scarf floated down. Float, 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 then a beret and a silk scarf. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Soon, the floor was covered in a jumble of hats and scarves, all wiggling and rustling and whispering, "Rustle, rustle, rustle." Aveline clapped her hands. "I know just what to do with you all," she said. "You're not scary at all. You're just lonely and want to be seen." And so, Aveline decorated her whole garden with the hats and scarves. They hung from trellises and draped over benches, making the garden the most whimsical place in the world.
Welcome to Twinkle Talk Bedtime Story.
The Lumpy Pumpkin. In a big, happy pumpkin patch, all the pumpkins were perfectly round. They sat on their vines, gleaming in the autumn sun, so proud of their perfect, plump shape. But in a quiet corner of the patch lived a pumpkin named Cora. She wasn't round at all. She was a little bit lumpy, with a bumpy top and a slightly squashed bottom. The other pumpkins, like Pip, loved to play a rolling game. They would giggle and bounce, but when Cora tried to join in, she just wobbled and tipped over. Cora felt so lonely. She wished more than anything that she could be perfectly round, just like everyone else. She spent her days watching the others play, feeling like she didn't belong. One afternoon, the sky grew dark. The wind began to howl, and the little pumpkins shivered on their vines. A big storm was coming. The wind grew stronger and stronger. The perfectly round pumpkins, with nothing to hold them down, began to lift and roll away. Pip was about to be blown right out of the patch. But Cora, with her lumpy shape, was firmly planted on the ground. Her bumps and squashes made her heavy and stable. She saw Pip in trouble and knew she had to help. With all her might, Cora stretched her vine out, wrapping it around Pip's stem just in time. She pulled and pulled until he was safe and sound beside her. When the storm passed, all the pumpkins who were saved thanked Cora. They realized her unique shape was a strength, not a weakness. Pip smiled at her and said, "You are the best pumpkin in the whole patch." From that day on, the pumpkins celebrated their differences.